Ontario. And the two linesmen this evening are John D'Amico and Bob Hodges. Grant Fuhr makes his 18th consecutive start in goal for the Edmonton Oilers. And at the other end, it's Brian Hayward, his second straight start for the Jets after missing 2 games as a result of a groin pull. Gentlemen, home crowd advantage. If this Winnipeg Jet club ever gets a quick start, this crowd would certainly come alive, even more so than they are.
John, I can counter with that, too. If Edmonton happen to get a quick couple of goals the way they're capable of, they can silence the crowd, so it's important for Winnipeg to get out quickly.
The Jets dump it down into Edmonton territory. Melnick races back after it. Melnick being harassed by Jim Nill, trying to get it out. Finally, the Oilers succeed in moving it into the center ice area. Here's a quick shot by Messier. That comes off the end boards and is grabbed and held by Brian Hayward.
By his own admission, Brian Hayward did not have a very good game in Game 2. He was tentative. He wasn't out challenging shooters. He said he will be a different type of goaltender tonight. You know, taking that a step further about the crowd, you know, when you're at home, you might take more chances than you normally would. The Oilers will be looking forward for that. In case they are too aggressive in their forechecking, they might be caught on those 3-on-2 breaks.
They just both got caught on the last play as Babbage pinched along the boards, and that was very nearly a 2-on-1, and Messier missed the net on the shot.
Very quickly, a line change. Thomas Dean out there against the Gretzky line. Curry leaves it along the boards for Huddy. It's poked back to the net. It bounced away from Gretzky, and Picard attempted to play it off the glass and down the ice, and it went up into the crowd.
Now, Wayne Gretzky has been overshadowed a little bit by Paul Coffey. He said he doesn't mind, though, since all the attention is focused on Coffey and Grant Fuhr, it makes his job a little bit easier because players have left him alone now. He hasn't been getting that close attention like he did in the Los Angeles series. He's been allowed to carry that puck, and once Gretzky beats a man, watch out.
Gretzky trying to get it back to the point on the draw. Kept in by the Oilers as Semenko shot it into the corner. The Jets playing it up along the left wing boards into the center ice area. Thomas Dean having difficulty controlling it. He lost it at the Edmonton blue line. We're approaching the 1-minute mark of this opening period. Mayo working into the corner, feeding it out in front. Lundholm tried to slide it across the Steen, and there's a penalty coming up against the Edmonton Oilers. Stanley Cup 85 on CBC is coming to you from the Winnipeg Arena.
Home and rhythm is in my shoes. No use sitting there and singing the blues. So be my guest, you got nothing to lose. Walk to let me take you on a sea cruise. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise?
Molson Canadian. Taste that'll stop you cold.
From the face-off, Steen slides it across, broken up by the Oilers and drawn out by Gretzky. Lead pass off Messier, slides to the goal mouth, and Hayward hangs on.
John, it's interesting. On the power play of the Winnipeg Jets, generally they have Steen on the point. But whenever Gretzky's on the ice, Barry Long has put out 2 defensemen to kill a penalty. In other words, the Winnipeg power play is very nervous whenever Wayne Gretzky's on the ice killing penalties. It's kind of interesting. If Wayne Gretzky's not going to be on the ice, then they'll put Steen back on the point.
A lot of teams are nervous when Gretzky gets out there. One thing that Barry Long had mentioned, he says we have to start getting some shots through from the point and get guys in front looking for the deflection.
So it's Charlie Huddy in the penalty box. He got the high sticking penalty. That's just the 56-minute mark, second mark of this, the first period.
Carlisle takes it back of his own net. Ahead to Babbage. Babbage trying to break through for McLean. He scores!
goaltenders are going to make that save. So that's what the Jets needed. The first goal of the hockey game.
Babbage and Carlisle drawing assists on Paul McLean's goal at 1:26 of this opening period. A power play goal for the Jets. Tim Waters along the boards. McLean dumps it to the Edmonton line. Now Charles Huddy starts back. Long shot. It's gloved by Hayward, and Hayward holds it at the side of the net.
Well, again, Glenn Sather didn't want his club being behind early in this hockey game because the crowd will just get noisier and noisier. But I don't think he's worried about his hockey club panicking. They're being in this situation before, and they've matured greatly in the last few years.
Well, Glenn Sather's team forces a lot of turnovers, and you can see early in this game that the goaltender Hayward is slowing things down in his own zone. Every time he picks up a loose puck, he freezes it for a faceoff.
Hunter drops it back to the net. Hayward is out there to play it up along the boards. Mullen chops it. It goes over the glass and out of play.
I think, too, though, John, that the reason that Hayward's grabbing a lot of pucks in his own zone, the Jets have been very good on faceoffs. They won the majority of the faceoffs in games 1 and 2, so he has confidence in the ability of the center iceman to control those draws.
I agree with that. When we talked about Hayward, the goaltender, let's remember he uses that curved goal stick, and a lot of times when he handles the puck, he always fires it to his left. And the Oilers do have a book on that, and a lot of times you'll see the Oilers pitch along the boards when Hayward fires the puck around the boards a lot. Hayward is the type of a goaltender that gambles, leaves the net, likes to get involved in the play in that respect.
Krushelnyski against Deeds. Back to the line. Kevin Lowe shoots it to the corner. Allen having problems in the corner. The puck bounces off his stick. Dumped out to the line. Lead pass too far for McBain. Loose in the center ice area. Babbage played it off the board. Fired back in by the Oilers. Hughes going to the corner against Allen. Allen pins him against the boards. Krushelnyski is in there as well, along with Murray Eve. Krushelnyski digs it out, takes the shot, saves, rebound, and it went wide of the net. Krushelnyski was allowed to walk out from the corner and got the shot away. And the Winnipeg Jets dump it down the ice. Dave Ellett getting that puck after taking a check from Pozar. Now with a Stanley Cup update, here's Brian McFarland.
And the update comes from Minnesota, where the North Stars have taken a 1-0 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks. Watch Marouk get the goal here. Pass from Roberts. 3:07 first period. There's the shot that beats Bannerman. 1-0 North Stars.
And 1-0, the Winnipeg Jets on a power play goal by Paul McLean, leading the Edmonton Oilers in this game 3 of this series. And we have 17:37 remaining in the first period. Rink wide for Lundholm. It's poked away from him by Melnick. Loose at center ice. Backhanded in by Thomas Steen. Melnick goes back at his own goal. The Jets much more aggressive in their forechecking in this third game than they were in the first 2. Now it's brought out by Curry and shot into Winnipeg territory. Melnick races in, picking it up off the boards. Melnick finally has it poked away, and the Jets come back. 3-on-2, led by Smale. Smale gets around Curry. Smale feeding it out for Lundholm. He couldn't get a shot away. Carlisle fires it wide. It's loose. Dug out now by Lundholm, then he lost it. Picked up by Smale. Smale gets it back to Lundholm. He's taken in against the boards by Randy Gregg. It comes loose. Thomas Steen, backhand shot. That is deflected wide. Lundholm trying to slide it out front, having difficulties there with Yari Curry. Curry finally comes up with it. Lead pass for Gretzky, and it's deflected off Carlisle into the crowd. 16:37 is the time left to play in period 1. The Oilers won the first 2 games in Edmonton. 4-2 on Thursday and 5-2 on Saturday night. Game 4 in the series will take place here at the Winnipeg Arena on Thursday night. 1-0, the Jets in front as Babbage goes back into his own zone. He flips it into the center ice area, and it's knocked down with a high stick.
I'm talking to Coach Barry Long. He's talking about how well Boschman's done on faceoffs in the first 2 games of this series, but he also said that Laurie Boschman is an aggressive hockey player. He hasn't been aggressive. It's time for him to get involved with some sort of an altercation, perhaps get your nose dirty a little bit. The Jets need that on home ice. Don't be intimidated by the Oilers.
You know, and some of their scorers, Boschman with 32, Mullen with 32, and Smale with 31, have yet to pick up a point in this series. They have to get scoring from those three.
Paul Coffey for Huddy. Huddy fires it in. He took a check from Turnbull as he dumped it in. It's poked loose back out into the center ice area. Coffey, who had that 5-point night on Saturday, clears it to the line. Then Mills steps into Anderson. The two of them go down. Anderson lost his stick, but Napier breaks in, trying to slide it in front. Messier goes back to the net. He has it poked away by Turnbull. Turnbull racing out against Anderson. He managed to keep it in, and back comes Babbitt. Babbitt tried to get it ahead to Boschman. Too far. It's loose back to the net. Boschman is there to touch it first. No icing on the play. Turnbull trying to keep it in. He falls, and it's brought back by Edmonton. Anderson at the line for Messier. A penalty coming up. Coffey scores!
Paul Coffey again follows up the play. He was saying this morning that 6 weeks ago he hated hockey. He didn't even want to play. He didn't even want to go out for warm-up. What a difference 6 weeks makes. He gets on the roll here. He always finds a seam to follow up on the play. The crowd is now silenced after this goal by Coffey as he follows up, picks up a loose puck. Now, it's a left-handed shot on the right side that gives him a better angle to put the puck past the goaltender, Hayward. If he was a right-handed shot, the goaltender would have a perfect angle. Since he's a left-handed shot, he's able to pick that long side easily enough on his forehand.
Still, on that replay, it looked like Hayward should have been out challenging a little more. He was deep in his net. Paul Coffey picked the corner. And one thing Glenn Sather mentioned, he said, we give Paul Coffey the license to go. Anytime he's in motion and an opportunity to go to the offense, go. There's always a forward backing him up. And Coffey has certainly taken advantage of that in this series.
Referee Brian Lewis receiving some treatment from Winnipeg trainer Chuck Badcock. Coffey's sixth goal of the playoffs at 4:37 from Messier and Anderson.
That's his fourth goal in 3 games against the Winnipeg Jets. Pretty good start, but it's amazing to be able to talk to Paul Coffey. He said at the time when hockey wasn't very enjoyable, he just didn't even want to go to the arena to practice. The Glenn Sather gave him a couple of days off, and then they went on to a road trip. They'd been at home in Edmonton for 3 weeks, and he said he fell into a routine. And there's nothing worse than being in a routine as a hockey player. He got on the road, they traveled around a bit, not too long in each city, and things just got going better and better, and he is on fire.
Remember, there are quite a few Edmonton Oilers that have been training since July for the Canada Cup and then the regular season, so there was a time during the season when they were a little bit worn out.
So the score is tied at 1, and now Willie Lindstrom tries to break in. He had it poked away. Jim Kite plays it up around the board, deflected down the ice by Paul McLean. Racing back after it is Hunter. Hunter lost it. McLean centered it. Nobody there. Picked up by Wilson. In the corner for Mullen. Mullen digs it out for McLean. He deflected it wide. Tim Waters races in from the point, plays it back to the net. It's dumped up along the boards and out to the neutral zone. Shot back in by Mullen. Knocked down by Gregg. His pass too far for Hunter, and Kite goes back into his own zone. Taken in against the boards by McClellan. Rink wide pass picked off. Bozar with a drive, and that sails wide. Mullen plays it out to center ice. The Oilers fire it back in and make a change with 14:22 remaining in this first period. Jim Kite having some problems moving that puck out of there. Finally gets it again off the boards to Mullen. Mullen in across the line. Getting set, shoots, save, and McBain comes driving in and crashes into goaltender Grant Fuhr.
You know, that's something that Long talked about. He said the second man has to go for the net, and you see how the Jets are harassing Grant Fuhr.
Goes puck back of the net. Dumped up along the boards. Bozar unable to get out. A shot by Babbitt. And Fuhr made the save. It came out front and now is brought out by the Oilers. Pat Hughes for Bozar. Bozar lost it as he moved into the slot. And the loose puck comes out to the line. Kept in there. And that rising shot went off Dave Babbitt and deflected towards the goal mouth.
So it's interesting to see the Oilers have dressed Bozar instead of Billy Carroll, a new wrinkle in their lineup tonight. Carroll had played very well, especially killing penalties.
Thomas Steen now for the Jets. Across the line, lost control of it as he tried to get set for the shot. So the Jets retreat back into their own zone to try and get set. Lead pass picked off by Gretzky for Curry. Curry's pass for Semenko, intercepted by Steen for Lundholm. Lundholm for Carlisle. A shot, save, and the rebound goes to the corner. Grant Fuhr reacted quickly on that pass by Randy Carlisle. Carlisle again, a shot right on. Steen unable to get the rebound and get the shot away. A penalty coming up here to the Oilers.
Charlie Huddy's going to get the penalty. He may have saved a goal by chopping away at Thomas Steen, as Steen picked up a big rebound from the goaltender. Grant Fuhr, Winnipeg, starting to forecheck, making these things happen.
Now Charlie Huddy goes to the penalty box for hooking, but the pressure has been there by the Winnipeg Jets. And that word intensity, perhaps at times it's overused, John, but the Jets have got it going. They are really in there forechecking and coming up with a lot of loose pucks.
Now remember, McLean has already scored a power play goal for the Jets in this hockey game, and they felt that they had to penetrate that four-cornered box of the Edmonton Oilers. They wanted to get in and try and harass the goaltender, Grant Fuhr, and they felt that their defensemen weren't moving the puck properly. They were just putting their heads down and blasting the puck towards Fuhr. Fuhr's an aggressive goaltender, comes a long way out of his crease. Perhaps these defensemen, once they control the puck, move it around a little bit, and that makes the goaltender have to stay back in the net a lot more.
Savage with a shot. It went wide. Carlisle picks it up off the board. For McLean, he couldn't control it. Comes back to the line. Carlisle keeps it in to McLean. McLean for Mullen. Mullen tried to set up Boston. He couldn't get a stick on it. It's dumped out to the center ice area. The Oilers, led by Krushelnyski and Coffey, with a shot. Krushelnyski fired it wide. Carlisle gets away from Messier. Starting back for Winnipeg. A pass for Babbage. Babbage ahead to Boschman. Boschman dumped it into the slot. Mullen couldn't get a stick on it. It was picked off by Messier, and Mullen upset Messier, and he'll get a penalty. So that negates the manpower advantage.
Now Brian Mullen draws the holding call, and of course coaches don't like to see their players take a penalty when they got a power play and the puck is in the offensive zone.
It's tough to make a check when you've got one hand on your stick. You can see there where he just wrapped it right around Messier, and it was a good call by the official.
Allett for Picard to Thomas Steen. Steen was looking for Smale. It went off the skate, picked up by Allett. Allett is allowed to break right in. It hit the crossbar as he flipped it up.
Well, if Allett's going to go on a one-on-one situation, Gretzky's the guy to do it against because he's really not that strong, trying to ward off a check.
Picard steps in the Coffey. The puck is loose along the board. Now it goes to the corner for Allett. To Smale. 11:37, the time left in this first period with the score tied at 1. Smale, drop back, run. Allett over to the cross. Great save by Fuhr. Another shot on the rebound by Allett, and Fuhr took that backhand away from him.
The Winnipeg Jets are passing the puck much better than they did in the first two games of the series. Really doing a good job.
Babbitt moving in. He's checked by Coffey. Lead pass for Gretzky. Gretzky working against Lundholm. Puts on the brakes. Now looking for Curry. Drop the pass back for Lowe. Intercepted by Lundholm. Lundholm across the line. Lundholm trying to get set for a shot. Finally feeds it to Waters. He couldn't get a shot away. It goes loose back of the net. Good action here in this first period, and the crowd really alive at the Winnipeg Arena. Lundholm pokes it away from Curry. Lowe's pass up on the right wing board. Loose in that Edmonton zone as the Oilers now have the manpower advantage. Babbitt working to the corner against Lowe. Tries to slide it out front, picked off by the Oilers. They break out 4-on-2. 23 seconds left in the penalty. Curry with a shot, and Hayward makes the save. Lundholm trying to get it out of there. It comes along the board. Wilson steps into Curry. Krushelnyski is there to help up. Krushelnyski for Curry. Curry back to the line. Coffey moving in. A shot and the save by Hayward.
Don, that's the goaltending of Brian Hayward. That's the way his style is. He's an angles goaltender, not a very good reflex goaltender. He admits that himself. He says, if you're going to rate my hands in the league, I'm probably 21st overall. I don't have the great quick hands like Moog or Fuhrer do of the Edmonton Oilers. I have to play smart, get out there, play the angle, not beat myself. In other words, not too many through the legs and not too many on the short side. And there was his style of his play. Move out and make the save.
It was interesting talking to Grant Fuhrer prior to the game. I said, when do you go to challenges? As soon as I see a forward or defenseman drop his head. And that's exactly what Hayward did. As soon as he saw Coffey drop down, he was out challenging.
The penalty to Mullen has expired as Anderson goes to the corner. In back of the Winnipeg net, Picard along the boards for Turnbull. Turnbull, lead pass for Boschman. He was tied up by Messier and couldn't go anywhere with it. Now Carlisle touches it as it's whistled down on a high sticking call. Down to Brian McFarland now for a Stanley Cup update.
The Minnesota North Stars have scored 2 power play goals in the first 10 minutes of play. One by Marouk, and now one coming up by Cicerelli. That's Broughton on the rush. Over to Cicerelli. He's all alone, and he gets it high over the glove of Bannerman. 2-0 North Stars. 9:32 first period.
Well, certainly time for Cicerelli to get going with those Minnesota North Stars. I think he had one other goal in the series, but he's an important factor as far as the North Stars go.
9:51 the time remaining in the first period here at the Winnipeg Arena. It's Winnipeg 1 and Edmonton 1. Hunter shoots it back at the Winnipeg net. Picked up there by Mullen. Mullen ahead to Ron Wilson looking for Paul McLean. That lead pass from McLean just a little too far. Huddy back of the net and along the boards for Lindstrom, unable to get out against Brian Mullen. Around to the other side, Paul McLean unable to keep it out. Tim Waters has to retreat to center ice, waiting for his mates to get onside. Pass picked off by the Oilers. Lindstrom, rink wide, there's nobody in position, and Waters shoots it back out to the neutral zone. The Jets, much more aggressive with their forechecking and their body checking, and now McClellan and McLean got their sticks up, and now Pike comes in to exchange words with McClellan.
Now Jim Pike is to the Winnipeg Jets when Dave Semenko is to the Edmonton Oilers. The placement, if you want to use that term.
It's interesting to see that McClellan is on the ice against Mullen and McLean, 2 of the better scorers of the Winnipeg Jets. Of course, McClellan is such a good checking forward that you would think Barry Long would try and get him away from those key players for the Jets.
There's Semenko playing on the line with Gretzky and Curry. Right now, both teams are utilizing every single player, going with 4 lines. That's something that they didn't do in games 1 and 2 in Edmonton. Basically used 3 lines.
9:08 is the time left in the first. 1-1 the score. Winnipeg and Edmonton, game 3 of this Smythe Division Final. Now the Oilers bring it out on the right side for Hughes. Hughes with a shot. Off Elliot's stick. Back of the net. Babbage takes Krusalinsky in against the boards. The Oilers dig it out in front of it. Quick shot got sailed wide as Randy Gregg had raced in from his blue line spot. Played around the boards for Andrew McBain. And Andrew McBain tied up Melnick as the puck spies out to center ice. 8:30 left in the first. 1-1 the score. Winnipeg and Edmonton. Babbitt starting out of his own zone. Across the line for Arneal. Arneal takes a shot off Vogelin. It goes to the side of the net. Lundholm tried to play it around into the corner. It was dug out by the Oilers, but kept in at the line by Picard. His shot, and it's gloved by Fuhrer with Arneal right up top of it. 5 on Hockey Night in Canada, Stanley Cup 85.
Again, Laurie Boschman has been very successful in getting face-offs, and when it gets them in the offensive zone, it's important that the Jets do something about it. If it goes back to the point, forwards go for the net, defensemen get that shot on net.
And it's interesting to see that Coach Long has had him out against Messier every shift here in the first period. The tough against the tough.
Boschman got the draw, but the 2 Jet defensemen were not in position to get a shot away back at the point, and it slid to the neutral zone, was fired back in offside.
Of course, Mark Messier is getting stronger with each and every game. His tremendous speed, and it's going to be quite a job for Laurie Boschman to control him. But one thing that Barry Long wanted, he didn't want Messier against Thomas Steen. Steen just took an awful beating, especially in Game 2, from the hits of Mark Messier.
Messier and Boschman are both going to be going off. center ice area, pushing away at each other.
John?
Now Turnbull comes in, and he's grabbed by Vogelin.
You remember earlier in the season, Boschman was playing with a bad shoulder, and Barry Long said, whenever Laurie Boschman's involved in a row, I want every player on my team to come and stand right in for him. And you saw, as soon as that started, Turnbull skated right over. The rest of the teammates came right over and started to get involved.
Well, 2 Winnipeg Jet players are going to the penalty box here in the first.
Now Mark Messier gets a 2-minute slashing penalty, as well as Boschman. And then Perry Turnbull added a little extracurricular activities and draws 2 minutes for roughing. So the Edmonton Oilers in that exchange will have a power play.
That comes with 7:56 remaining in this first period. That altercation between Boschman and Messier started right from the faceoff.
Oh, sure. We had to expect that was going to happen with those two players. Now, this 4-on-3 situation, excluding the goaltenders, we have to remember Paul Coffey comes from behind. He's going to come late, and that's where the Jets have gotten into most of their troubles with Paul Coffey. They realize that they're going to check Curry, they're going to check Gretzky, but it's the Paul Coffey coming late that nobody's been aware of.
John, a lot of that has to do with Gretzky having the ability to attract players to himself. Now, they feel that, gee, sometimes it's going to take 2 players to cover Gretzky, and when that happens, that opens up the ice for Paul Coffey, so we'll see if that develops on this power play.
I'll apologize, it's a 5-on-4 situation, so it's just a one-man short for the Winnipeg Jets.
The offsetting slashing penalties to Boschman and Messier, and the 2 minutes for roughing to Randy Turnbull. Perry Turnbull, I'm sorry. Fired into the Edmonton zone. Brought back now by the Oilers for Curry. Curry tried to play it in off Carlisle. It was broken up and dumped down the ice by Smale.
In talking just before the game started with the staff of the Oilers, they mentioned the fact that the aggressive penalty killing of the Winnipeg Jets, where it gets them in trouble, is they don't see Coffey coming late. And again, we're going to have to be aware of that and watch for it.
The card goes to the corner. Krushelnyski comes in, trying to dig it out. He's tied up by Carlisle. Carlisle having difficulty now, trying to get away from Krushelnyski. He falls. The puck is loose. Krushelnyski trying to move out. Gets it back to the line to Coffey. Coffey for Gretzky. Gretzky over for Curry. He was unable to get a shot away. Curry tried to get it back to the line, intercepted by Steen. He breaks out with Doug Smale. Long drive, and that's deflected up into the stands by Fuhr.
You know, there's been 2 situations in this game where the Oilers have gotten fancy and tried those behind-the-back passes. Both times they were intercepted by a Swedish player. One was Lundholm, the other one was Steen. Those European players play that fancy style in Europe, and they can anticipate with those types of plays. Randy Carlisle taking a little breather. He's going to get a lot of ice time. Very Long said he's taking this game as if there's no tomorrow. If they lose, they're in big trouble, so he said he's going to go 2.5 lines if he has to, and he'll drop right down to 4 defensemen if he has to.
50 seconds remaining in the penalty. Wilson gets it back to Babbage. Babbage played it off the board. Now he moves in at the side of the net. Lundholm trying to get it out front. Lundholm allowed to walk in.
Because they couldn't move Wilson.
Yeah, but look at the player. I can't pick out who the Oiler player was, but he was trying to stick check Lundholm. You're never going to stop a National Hockey League player using your stick. You have to take him out physically, and they could have stopped Lundholm from coming out from in front, from behind the net, if they would have just stepped into him.
The second short-handed goal of the series for Ben Lundholm, with Wilson and Babbage drawing the assist. That came at 13:25. Now 25 seconds remaining in the penalty. Coffey for Anderson. Coffey is hit. Coffey is hurt. Gretzky with a shot. It goes wide. Paul Coffey is hurt.
You want to see some whiplash. When Paul Coffey gets hit, he had his back turned. And when a collision occurred, we'll have to watch the neck of Paul Coffey as it's going to snap. Watch the middle of the back by Babbage and see his head snap back. He did not expect the check at the time as he had his back turned, and it was a clean check. Babbage kept his elbows down.
Now, if Babbage would have run at him, then Paul Coffey would probably be in a lot worse shape than he's in. But Babbage just held his ground and stepped into him. And the tempers are starting to get a little testy right now as Elliott has a few words.
Well, this would certainly be a tremendous blow to the Oilers because Paul Coffey has been absolutely brilliant in the playoffs.
Paul Coffey's been logging more ice time than any other player for the Oilers, more so than Wayne Gretzky, and you can see the obvious concern on the face of Glenn Sather. There perhaps was a problem with the wind being knocked out of Coffey. See, he was not expecting this check because he had his back turned. But watch his next step back. He's watching Elliott. Now watch Babbage. Just gets set, hits him with that arm right in the middle of the back, and quite a blow, a real blow to Paul Coffey.
Well, fortunately for the Oilers, Coffey has gone to the Edmonton bench rather than to the dressing room, so I'm quite sure we'll see number 7 back for the Edmonton Oilers. Just 15 seconds remaining in the penalty. Some discussion still taking place as the players were shoving following that hit on Coffey.
By far the most emotional game in this series. Both games in Edmonton were rather calm. And you can see the referee, Lewis, you can see where he got a cut around the ear, a little blood trickling down.
And now with the Stanley Cup update, here's Brian McFarland.
The Chicago Blackhawks have moved in front of Minnesota by a 2-1 score on a goal by Bob Murray from Troy Murray. Watch the puck bounce off the skate of Minnesota player Brian Bellows. A lot of hesitation on the shot. There's the deflection, and it's in. 2-1. Minnesota leading the Blackhawks.
And 2-1, the Winnipeg Jets lead the Edmonton Oilers. And this crowd at the Winnipeg Arena set up a chant as the players came out on the ice, and there's been a constant din ever since. Just 6 seconds remaining in the penalty. Benny Lundholm with the short-handed goal, moving the Jets in front. Now the Jets are back at full strength. Krushelnyski brings it in across the line. It's loose along the boards, dug out by the Oilers, back to the point. Gregg couldn't get set for a shot. The puck bounces into the slot, back to the line now. Melnick trying to work in. He takes the check from Picard. The puck goes loose in the corner. Ron Wilson trying to move it out, kept in by Pozar. Pozar shoots it in as the Oilers continue to apply pressure. A shot that flies by Picard, right to the goal now. Hayward has to make the save. 5:25 is the time remaining in the first period.
Well, they say home, sweet home, and right now it's very favorable for the Winnipeg Jets. They've gone ahead in the shot total also by 12-5, and they've had a lot of pressure in the Edmonton end of the ice.
Murray Eaves recalled today from Sherbrooke at the American League, taking the face-off against Krushelnyski. Back to Hughes. Hughes couldn't get set for a shot as he was fouled up by McBain, and Arneal brings it back for Winnipeg. Arneal drops it into the corner for McBain. He's taken out of the play. Eaves has it. Eaves out front, and it's gloved by Fuhr as Arneal was looking for that loose puck, and he was tied up by Gregg.
You know, when a game's getting rough like this, people like Krushelnyski, who was basically invisible the first 2 hockey games, he'll become much more prevalent in a game like this. A player also like McQuillan. Now, that last draw in the Winnipeg zone, Eaves was beaten cleanly by Krushelnyski. It'll be interesting to see if Barry Long's going to have Eaves take any more faceoffs in the Winnipeg zone.
No.
I don't think so either.
Krushelnyski, prior to Game 2 in Edmonton, spent a lot of extra time on the ice along with Billy Carroll, practicing his face-off technique, and it was Dave Semenko who was out there with a stack of pucks, dropping them for him.
John, an interesting point now. Grant Fuhr's had a lot of players in front of him in that crease. When do you start letting the players know that you just can't stand there any longer?
He told me this morning, if they're going to come and initiate the play around my goal crease, then I'm going to start hitting them with my goal stick. He said he wouldn't start it, but he said he'd try to finish it.
Loose puck comes out to center ice. Tim Waters, rink wide pass, fired down into the Edmonton zone, picked up by Wilson. Wilson tries to get it into the slot. McLean couldn't get a shot away, but dumps it in behind the net. Kevin Lowe. Being bothered with the forechecking of Ron Wilson, it finally goes loose, and the Oilers gain possession and shoot at the length of the ice. A race for that loose puck. Tim Waters and Willie Lindstrom go into the boards. Lindstrom ties Waters up. Rink wide pass, and almost picked off at the point by Fogelin. Dangerous play there by the Jets as they threw that puck out of their own zone up the middle. And Fogelin at the line came very close to picking it off with a clear pass to Brian Hayward. 4:13 is the time left here in the first period.
Almost every whistle to stop the play, there's some sort of a mix-up, a flare-up. This time both benches are both teams making a line change here, but they seem to be splitting up. You know, Jim Kite's getting some ice time here, more ice time than he's had in the previous 2 games. He's been paired with Waters. Waters, one of the assistant captains with the hockey club. Of course, Big Dave Semenko, he was put on the left side with Gretzky and Curry. One of the games in Edmonton responded by just getting in front of the net. He doesn't even mind being called a watchdog for Wayne Gretzky. He says he knows his job, and as long as the coaching staff are happy with the way he's playing, that's all that counts.
You know, one thing we certainly noticed in this game tonight, in games 1 and 2, the Oilers had a lot of a very easy time coming into their own zone because the defenseman had time to get turned around, make a good pass, or skate with it. Because of the aggressiveness of the Winnipeg Jets, they've had to shoot that puck around the boards, and on many occasions, the Jets have pinched in and broken up a lot of plays.
We're just taking a peek at Wayne Gretzky. He said he wants to get one tonight. Mom and Dad's 25th wedding anniversary, and he says, geez, they'd sure like it if I was able to get one here in Winnipeg. He usually comes through with his promise, I would think.
4:13 is the time remaining in the first period. 2-1, the Winnipeg Jets leading. Paul McLean and Benny Lundholm have scored for Winnipeg. Paul Coffey for the Edmonton Oilers. And for all you Edmonton fans, it's, I'm sure, a relief to see number 7 back out on the ice. Lundholm goes into the corner. Smale in there as well. Out front for Dean. He couldn't get a shot away. Then turned out. He did slide it across the goal mouth. Paul Coffey lost it, and Lundholm had it pushed away from him. Now the Oilers go back to their own lines to set something up. Charlie Huddy shoots it into Winnipeg territory, knocked down by Babbitt for Smale. Rink wide pass, Dean breaking in, takes the shot, and they save by Fuhr as he kicked it to the corner. Dean trying to get it in front for Smale, still has it. Finally he is knocked over by Huddy, and back comes Gretzky for Edmonton. 3:16 remaining in the period. Gretzky for Curry. Curry in front, and Semenko was tied up. Bosman back now for Winnipeg. Good action in this first period. Bosman cutting for the goal. Backhand shot goes wide. In the center ice area, Carlisle picks off a pass. He shoots it into Edmonton territory. Jim Nill into the slot. Nobody there. Bosman crashed into the goalpost and knocked the goalpost off its moorings, and the play is whistled down.
Corey Bosman went in quite heavily. Again, we mentioned a couple of times in the first period here about the Jets trying to penetrate that goal crease area. Grant Fuhr, Bosman was there again. He was actually knocked into the net by one of the Oilers, and you can see him wincing a bit. He played junior in Brandon with Dave Semenko, both in the same club, both basically out of the same mold, tenacious style, very tough players.
You know, so far tonight, though, the Winnipeg Jets have been very successful in keeping a collar on Paul Coffey. He hasn't led those end-to-end rushes like he did in games 1 and 2, and you notice that the Jets are trying to hit him at every opportunity.
Long drive by Picard. Another shot by Jim Nill. That sailed wide. Randy Gregg plays it around to the other side for Mark Napier. He gets it ahead for Messier into Anderson. Anderson upset by Carlisle. A penalty coming up on the fly.
Well, there's a case where the speed of the Edmonton Oilers, Messier and Anderson draw a penalty, with Glenn Anderson really putting on a burst of speed.
Harry Turnbull gets the hooking penalty. Anderson always drives to the net himself. You can see he tries to put his body back towards the players, shield the puck, and Turnbull reached in. And Edmonton, who's had trouble with their power play in the playoffs, will get a chance on it again. Now, they've had most of their success with the Messier, Anderson, Napier line on the power play. Yesterday's practice in Edmonton, the Oilers worked most of their practice around the power play. This line they feel is going the best simply because they have puck movement and the players are continually circling around trying to get control, more so than the Gretzky line.
Of course, in game 2 is the first time that the Oilers have been able to hit the scoreboard on the power play. They were 2 for 6, and that's all they've got so far in the Stanley Cup playoffs for this year. Into the corner. Napier trying to slide it across for Anderson. Anderson was upset, and the car brings it down the ice.
Anderson was upset by a cross check from Laurie Boschman. He was fortunate that the Jets weren't down 2 men.
Now it's Messier. Across the line, he gets away from Carlisle. Tries to shoot it back to the point, takes the body check, but does get it to Gregg. Gregg plays it back at the Winnipeg net. Picard tried to hammer it out of there and hit a leg. Now it's picked up by Wilson and cleared.
I'm a little surprised that the Jets have been doing all the hitting in tonight's contest, and the Oilers are just playing their game. They really haven't retaliated with checks against the Jets.
At the line, fired out by Winnipeg. Boschman racing after that loose puck with just Kevin Lowe back. Boschman trying to slide it across for Doug Smale, and Smale was tied up by Charlie Huddy. 1 minute remaining in the penalty to Perry Turnbull. As Curry works his way to center ice for Gretzky. Rink wide for Pozar, trailing the play. Pozar going to the corner. Loses control of it. Krushelnyski gets it back for Pozar. To the line to Gretzky. Over to Curry. Curry now for Huddy. He takes a shot in the glove save by Brian Hayward.
The Winnipeg Jets are a man short. On that last play, Boschman was one of the forwards killing the penalties. Gretzky was over against the boards. Boschman went into him, and he stayed right with Gretzky. Once Gretzky passed the puck, it became a 4-on-3. Boschman simply stayed against the boards right with Gretzky, sort of an interesting form of strategy. And again, Hayward grabbing that puck, trying to slow it down.
Glenn Sather said in order for our team to be successful in the power play, we have to have a lot of motion, a lot of freewheeling in the Winnipeg Jets zone, and then make that puck work for us. So you noticed how the Oilers were really throwing that puck around, hitting the open man.
39 seconds remaining in the penalty. Curry back of the net for Carlisle. Carlisle batted out into the center ice area. Wilson breaks out. Wilson loses it, and back comes Gretzky. Gretzky for Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski lost it, gets it again for Gretzky. Gretzky fighting with Wilson. He clears it.
Another one of the many combinations Glenn Sather uses on his power play. The fourth line center is Krushelnyski. He's got him playing left wing here in place of Semenko on this power play.
And the Winnipeg Jets are now at full strength as it's cleared down the ice by Thomas Steen. Picked up by Curry. Curry's pass knocked down by Steen. Steen, in turn, loses it to Curry. Curry is checked by Smale. Smale takes the bump against the boards from Krushelnyski. It goes loose back at the Edmonton Dome. Huddy off the boards for Gretzky. Gretzky across the line. And it's whistled down as Messier preceded the play with just 3 seconds left in the period. Now with a Stanley Cup update, here's Brian McFarland. Chicago's come from behind to tie the game against Minnesota. Yaremchuk does most of the work on this. Puck off the post. It lies there for a second or two. He gets another chance at it over to Lysiak through the legs of Melange. 2-2 tie between the Hawks and the North Stars. First period.
John, in this game, this has certainly been the best period of the entire series. A lot of emotion out there from both teams, and it's fun to watch.
And as that long shot sails in, that's the end of the period. So with the score, Winnipeg 2, Edmonton 1. Stay tuned for our first intermission.
There's one guy in every block with the perfect lawn. His secret? Golf green with CIL's exclusive SCU formula. It gives quick green up without burning. A closer look shows how the SCU, with its 3 special protective coatings, slowly releases nitrogen to feed your lawn for over 2 months, long after many other fertilizers have quit. This spring, insist on CIL lawn food with SCU.
And the teams have returned to the ice for the second period here at the Winnipeg Arena. The Oilers winning the the first two in Edmonton, Thursday and Saturday, by scores of 4-2 and 5-2. The Jets in front here by a score of 2-1. They started things with a power play goal by Paul McLean. Then Edmonton came back to tie it on a goal by Paul Coffey. Then a shorthanded goal by Benny Lundholm at 13:25 has Winnipeg in front by a score of 2-1. There were 7 penalties in that first period, 4 against Winnipeg, 3 against the Oilers.
You know, one thing, because the result of this game being so good is the ice surface is excellent here in Winnipeg, so the puck slides so well. Both teams play a skating game and a passing game, and that's why we had some excitement coming out of both ends of the ice.
We mentioned also that 5 of the 7 shots from the Oilers were by their defensemen. 9 of the 14 shots by the Winnipeg Jets were from their defensemen, and I was watching Carlisle a lot of times. He seems to know this arena so well, the way the puck will carry him off the boards. He anticipated it, picked up on it, and Barry Long has his club going in high gear for this hockey game.
Well, quite a gathering of media here at the Winnipeg Arena this morning watching the Jets in their morning skate, attempting to find out whether or not Dale Hawerchuk would suit up, and of course the word was no. Loose puck now behind the Winnipeg goal. Turnbull has it. Turnbull having some difficulties getting out of there against Anderson. Finally, he dumps it off to Allen. Allen ahead for Bosman. He shoots it into the Edmonton zone. At the side of the net, Fuhr plays it off the boards and up to the line, and back comes Anderson for Mark Messier with Napier across the line for Anderson. Looking, and he scores! What a pretty goal!
Well, that was an excellent selection to start Messier's line, because he has been skating, and that trio has just gained strength the last couple of games, and that is exactly shows you what good speed can go, and cutting into the opening. 3-on-2, watch Anderson as he just moves. Great balance to get it past Hayward.
It was a 3-on-3. Actually, Turnbull missed the check at center ice, and then it turned into a 3-on-2. You saw Babbage turn away from Anderson. They didn't force the Jets or the Oilers whatsoever to the blue line. They simply took advantage of a 3-on-2. And that goal was very similar to the overtime goal that Anderson scored against the LA Kings in round number 1.
Well, how quickly the tide can turn with the Oilers really getting off to a good start in the second period.
That goal coming after just 37 seconds now. Carlisle with a shot. The score tied at 2. Coffey circling in his own zone. Gets it ahead to the line. Gretzky leading the attack. Curry trailing on the plate. Semenko catching up with it. He couldn't quite deflect it as goaltender Hayward poked it away. Shot in by Lundholm. It goes to the corner. Lundholm ties up Coffey. Dean got a chance and took a shot that was held by Grant Fuhr. Messier and Fuhr drawing assists on that goal by Anderson at the 37-second mark.
Few words in the corner by Lundholm and Coffey, as Lundholm stayed right beside Coffey in the right-hand corner.
Well, for Glenn Anderson, he started up his Glenn Anderson Foundation. He gets a goal, $1,000 to the Cancer Fund, and makes him smile for his night's work. Again, you can see Coach Long having Steen out against the Gretzky's line. He feels, of course, that Steen can get more done playing against a less strong centerman like a Wayne Gretzky than say, a Messier.
Lundholm from the corner. Putting in front. He hit the side of the net. Lundholm gets it again. Now loses it, and Coffey wheels out of that Edmonton zone. He's upset by Steen with a good hip check. The puck goes loose, and at the line it's whistled down on the offside.
Well, there's another example of that acceleration by Paul Coffey, and then an excellent defensive play by Thomas Steen, as they just got a piece of Coffey.
Doug Smale finished his schooling last summer in North Dakota. He took some business. Interesting type of fellow. He spends a lot of time on the Christian Teen Ranch in Ontario in the summertime. Of course, Wayne Gretzky trying to get on track here in this hockey game.
Now it's Coffey at his own line. They've played 1 minute and 50 seconds in this second period. A quick goal by the Oilers, getting them back on even terms. Allen is chased back of his own net by Gretzky along the boards for Lundholm. Rink-wide pass too far for Smale, and Huddy is back for Edmonton. Over to Coffey. Coffey circles, is upset by Smale. Smale will get a penalty. From the Winnipeg Arena, this is Stanley Cup 8-5 on CBC.
Doug Smale gets the hooking penalty. We mentioned earlier in the series about Paul Coffey and Wayne Gretzky seem to draw penalties. There you see Coffey turn quickly. That makes Smale go back in with a stick and take the hook, even though it wasn't much of one. But Coffey and Gretzky have that ability to make people draw penalties on them.
Well, Coffey has destroyed the Winnipeg Jets in Game 1 and Game 2 and is also a factor in this game, and they want to try and stop him, but by hooking him, that isn't the answer. And now you're just giving the Oilers that power play opportunity.
On the left side, Messier across the Winnipeg line. Drops it back to the point. Gray couldn't do anything with it but shoot it to the corner. He gets it again at the line and has it poked away by Bosman, but Kevin Lowe retreats for Edmonton. Glenn Anderson, rink-wide pass goes off the skate to the other corner. The Oilers have to go back into their own zone to try and set up, and now they're led by Mark Napier. To Messier. Messier in front to Napier. It deflects high as Hayward makes the save. Wilson to the line, but not out. Lowe takes the shot. It's blocked by Hayward.
Well, this way, Napier can't believe the puck didn't go in, but you know, the tougher the hockey game, the more people like Messier are going to come out and be a factor. Tough, strong centerman. Napier gets in the right position as this pass is feathered beautifully by Mark Messier, and Hayward slides across and makes a heck of a save. Nobody in front for a rebound, but still the play was set up beautifully by Mark Messier. This time Hayward's going to hang on to it. The big, strong centermen are such a factor the tougher the series is. Of course, the wingers can read. Mark Messier starting to blend very well with Mark Napier.
Mark Napier contained in a trade with Minnesota on January the 22nd.
Both coaches agree that a factor in tonight's contest is the second man going for the net, looking for a deflection. There was an example of it in the last play.
Goes puck back to the line. Gretzky fed it across, kept in by the Oilers. Now Babbitt off the boards, and it ricochets into the neutral zone. Coffey for Anderson. Anderson with the tying goal. Stopped at the line. Picked up by Gretzky. Gretzky trying to move in. He loses it. Lundholm unable to clear it. But now Babbitt shoots it down the ice. 48 seconds remaining in the penalty to Doug Smale as Coffey gets it ahead for Krushelnyski. To Gretzky. Gretzky couldn't control it at the line, and it's dumped out by Ellis. Picked up by Lundholm. Lundholm has it poked away in the center ice area. Krushelnyski racing in after it. Krushelnyski feeding it in front. Nobody there, and Ellis dumps it down the ice.
When you have an aggressive forechecking team like the Winnipeg Jets, it's so very important that your first pass, as far as the Oilers are concerned, out of your own zone will beat somebody. Then you've got a good opportunity of getting over that blue line.
Coffey for Gretzky, working to the corner, sliding it in front. They score! Beautiful play as he set up Mike Krushelnyski, and it's 3-2 Edmonton.
You can see the feelings of the Edmonton Oilers on the bench. When Krushelnyski puts his puck in the net, all he had to do was put his stick down, because Wayne Gretzky put that puck on the blade of his stick in a brilliant fashion. Unbelievable play.
But again, John, it's Paul Coffey that does all the legwork. Look at that, just wheels by players, backing in, and then makes the good pass.
Coffey simply had 4 people drawn to him when he had the puck, and that opened it up. And what a pass by Gretzky. But when Coffey came over the blue line, 4 different Winnipeg Jets went to Paul Coffey like he was a magnet. That opened it up, and the Oilers certainly took advantage of it.
A power play goal for the Edmonton Oilers. Krushelnyski gets the goal from Gretzky and Coffey. The second point of the hockey game for Coffey. He had 5 in that 5-2 win on Saturday night. The Oilers in front by a score of 3-2. The first time in the game that they have led, with 15:44 remaining here in the second period. The face-off to the right of Brian Hayward. 224s, McClelland and Wilson oppose each other in the circle. McClelland gets the draw. Now it's picked up in the corner by Wilson. Wilson having difficulty, loses the ball. Across for Willie Lindstrom. He couldn't get his shot away. Loose puck now, picked up by Mullen for McLean. McLean to Mullen as they switch across, and that Neutral zone for Wilson. He tried to feed a backhand shot in, and it was dumped out into the center ice area and down the ice. Paul McLean broke a stick in the play and threw part of it up into the crowd. Now McClellan is taken out of the play. Loose at the side of the net. Dumped over to the corner. Two players take it into the boards and hold it for a face-off.
You'll notice Edmonton starting to control the tempo of the hockey game simply because Winnipeg are not bumping and grinding near as much as they did in that first period. McLean actually had his stick broken. There you can see the fan with the blade of it behind Barry Long. His stick was slashed and broken by one of the Oilers, and McLean was very upset with the idea no penalty was called, and he flung his stick to the ice, and the blade caromed into the crowd.
Well, the Jets have to stop the bleeding. You know, the Oilers have had 3 shots in this period, and 2 have resulted in goals. So how quickly the tide can turn. And one thing about the Oilers, you give them chances, they will capitalize.
Bob Hodges picking up a couple of splinters from the broken stick. I wonder if he's wondering where the other half of it is. Row 13.
14:58 is the time left in the second period. The Oilers starting quickly at the 37-second mark with Anderson tying it. And then at 3:54, Krushelnyski putting Edmonton in front for the first time in the game. Mark Napier across the line. Trying to slide it to the goal mouth. Hayward steers it to the corner. Turnbull off the board. Kept in, though, by Messier. His shot deflects off the skate wide. In the corner, Anderson takes a shot from a bad angle. It's held by Hayward. Stanley Cup 85 on Hockey Night in Canada returns in a moment. Don Whitman along with Gary Dornhofer and John Davidson, and wherever you're looking in tonight, we hope you're enjoying the action on Hockey Night in Canada from the Winnipeg Arena. 3-2 the score. The Edmonton Oilers leading the Winnipeg Jets. This is the third game of the Spice Division Final, with the Oilers winning the first 2 in Edmonton. Babbage is forced back into his own zone, and the Oilers have come out flying in this second period. Centering pass picked off by Allett on the wing for Bossman. He couldn't do anything with it, and it's cleared back to the neutral zone. Turnbull winds up and has to retreat against some checking by the Oilers. Having difficulties with Krushelnyski, finally Picard picks it up and shoots it in. Fuhr, who picked up an assist on that first Edmonton goal, dumps it ahead. Melnick plays it to Messier. He lost control of it. And the Jets come back, led by Randy Carlyle. A long shot off the board, picked up by Gretzky. He gets it to Curry. He had difficulty controlling it. Fired back into the Edmonton zone. Charlie Huddy along the board. Loses it to Doug Smale. It goes loose in the corner. Coffey trying to play it out of there. Kept in by the Jet Smale. Loose up in the corner. Smale picks it up for Thomas Day. Walking out and fired it wide as he was looking for the far corner. And in the center ice area, the play is whistled down.
Well, since Paul Coffey has been such a factor in the playoffs this year, he has been compared to Bobby Orr time and time again. And looking at the 2 players, J.D., Coffey had tremendous acceleration. Bobby Orr had about 5 different speeds. You know, change of pace, which made him so effective.
Paul Coffey is so good in a straight line. He just picks up that speed, and he's able to carry with it. For Bobby Orr, he would move from side to side. And not very enjoyable for a goaltender to have to play against either one of those 2 players.
Gretzky goes back into his own zone. He gets it over to Coffey. Coffey, the leading scorer for the Oilers in the playoffs. He now has 12 points. Pass to Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski for Curry. Curry was tied up by Ellett. And Hayward plays it at the side of the net. To the line, but not out. As the Oilers have certainly dominated play here in the second. For Coffey, and Coffey was tied up by Smale as it slides to the corner. Coffey gets it again, but Curry is shot just wide. Finally, Babbage picks it up for Winnipeg and dumps it out to the center ice area. For Allett. Allett with a long shot. Save made by Fuhr, and Coffey picks it up in his own zone. Rink-wide pass for Krushelnyski. He has Gretzky with him. He gives it to number 99. Drops it back for Lowe. Lowe moving in. Takes the shot. And the save is made by Hayward as he had Yari Curry standing in front of him, bumping with him as he was attempting to make the save on that shot. Those puck slipped out to the center ice area. Mullen for Winnipeg shoots it into the Edmonton zone. Paul McLean scored the Jets' first goal to Carlisle. Carlisle takes the check from Lindstrom, gets it to McLean, to Mullen, up on the Wilson. They score!
Well, in game 2, Ron Wilson had 2 breakaways. Grant Muir stoned them. You know, the slot area, a lot of goals are scored from that area, and it's so very important that you pick that up. You notice that the Oilers are very slow in reacting to Wilson in front of the net. Everybody was following the puck behind. Look at that quick pass, and Wilson snaps it in one motion. Grant Muir isn't in the set position.
Yeah, they talked about forechecking for these Winnipeg Jets. They haven't done very much of it here in the second period. Finally, they get in deep, and they make something happen. After that goal was scored, McLean and Kevin Lowe had a real set to with their sticks. Something could develop between those two players, but a big goal simply by the good forechecking of the Jets.
You know, one thing that Barry Long had said, Ron Wilson gives us everything he's got.
Fans reacting, thinking a penalty should have been called as Mullen was upset. No whistle, of course. Now it's Lindstrom with a quick shot against Jim Kite. Kite bumps with Wilson in the corner, up along the boards, but not out. Vogelin with a shot. It goes to Lindstrom. Back of the net for Hunter. Hunter is tied up by Tim Waters. McClellan comes in to help out. He takes the check from Mullen. The puck is loose, and Mullen has it for Winnipeg. A pass intercepted as the Oilers are now doing some strong forechecking. Finally, McLean picks it up and gets it ahead to Mullen. Mullen for Wilson. Wilson tied up by Lowe, and it's poked back to the neutral zone. Jim Kite shoots it in and is hit by Vogelin as he goes to the bench for a change. The score tied at 3 with 10:40 remaining in the second period. Too far for Lindstrom, and Picard has it in his own zone. The Oilers making a change, and they almost got caught. A long drive, and too many men on the ice. The penalty coming up against the Edmonton Oilers as they were caught on that player change as they saw the Jets breaking down into the Edmonton zone. That penalty comes with 10:29 left in the period.
Simply a bad line change for the Edmonton Oilers. They end up with too many men on the ice. Winnipeg will get a power play chance. Glenn Taylor can't be happy with that mix-up on the bench. You know, these Winnipeg Jets had the same situation in a game here in the first round against the Calgary Flames, and they took advantage and scored on that particular power play, and that can sometimes deflate your hockey club. Pat Hughes will serve the penalty, and if the crowd with that quick goal moments ago by the Jets, and now the turn of events with the too many men on the ice penalty to the Oilers, are back in it and alive again.
It's amazing how the momentum has switched from team to team here in the second period. Each team controlling different parts of this second period.
By far the best action, sustained action, of this series between the Jets and the Oilers here in Game 3 in Winnipeg. Babbitt for Thomas Steen. Steen dumped it in, but it hit an Edmonton player and is cleared back out to the line. And finally, it's fired down the ice. 1:37 remaining in the penalty. Pat Hughes sitting out this penalty for the Edmonton Oilers.
Here's where Randy Carlisle is so important, making that good pass out of his own end.
Babbitt drops it on for Steen. Steen moving in, trying to set something up. Thomas Steen for Doug Smale. Smale to Lundholm, and Lundholm was racing in from the point, and it popped past him.
You know, the ingredient of a good power play is having individuals on the ice. When the pressure is applied against you, you're not in a panic situation, and you make that good pass.
Ahead for Mullen. Mullen and McLean drawing assist on that tying goal by Ron Wilson. Wilson has it against the board, dropping it back of the net. Smale knocked Messier down. Now Mullen goes back to the net for Wilson. Wilson is knocked off the puck by Huddy, and he clears it. 41 seconds remaining in the penalty, 9:08 left in the period.
A lot of muscle work going on in front of Graham Fuhr. Huddy on the ice defensively along with Paul Coffey for the Oilers. Coffey scored a shorthanded goal against these Jets earlier in the series.
Coffey has it now. He falls, and it's brought in by Wilson. Here's a 2-on-1 with Mullen. Mullen takes the backhand shot, and he's upset and slides to the boards as Coffey bumps in. And now in the corner, Coffey comes in. He throws Mullen down, and the play is whistled down.
Well, you have to say that the fans are a little hot right now with that piece of the Jets, and they feel more penalties should be called against their hockey club.
Well, Paul Coffey made a mistake where he slipped and fell in the neutral zone. It set up a 3-on-1 immediately. Coffey reached back and pulled down one of the Jets, which made it a 2-on-1. So it's a 2-on-1 in front of the net. Lowe plays it well. Take that Huddy as he skates across and breaks it up. Now watch Coffey and Mullen as they collide along the boards here. Looks like the New York subway, a little bit of a mugging going on as he throws Mullen down, and he got away with it.
While we have a moment, let's take a look at the playoff scoreboard. Philadelphia leading the Islanders 4-2 there in the second period. Montreal and Quebec a 4-4 tie in the third. And Chicago and Minnesota divided 4 goals in the second period.
And it's 3-3, Winnipeg and Edmonton with 8:41 left in the second, 13 seconds remaining in the penalty to the Oilers. The fans a little incensed here at the Winnipeg Arena that Brian Lewis did not call a penalty. Well, they thought that there was a bit of a mugging going on in the corner.
You know, here in the press box in the Winnipeg Arena, John Ferguson has his own private booth, and it is glassed in. Now, it didn't used to be, for some unknown reason, a water bucket came flying out of there one night, so it's now glassed in, and I would imagine there's some cute wordings going on inside that cubicle right now.
Of course, John DeMico has a little more work to do now, trying to clear the ice with debris, and we're just about ready to go. And Boschman again will probably get this draw. He has been excellent.
Back to the line for Babbitt. Babbitt for Paul McLean. Back to Babbitt. Babbitt takes a shot. Boschman is attempting to deflect it. It's loose in the corner. Coffey has it. He gets it over to Huddy. Huddy for Messier. And the Oilers are back at full strength. Messier takes the shot, knocked down by Babbitt, and he dumps it down the ice.
You know, the Jets have not been able to take advantage of the good draws by Laurie Boschman. Just about every time he's been out there to face off, he's won the draw.
Gretzky across the line. Trying to set something up, drops it off. Here's the shot by Fogler. Loose puck, and it's picked up by McLean. McLean clears it to center ice.
John, you notice where McLean was when he made that play, way down deep around the goal of Brian Hayward. The Jets wingers come back very deep to break up plays from the opposition.
7:46 is the time left in the second period. The play whistled down on a 2-line pass. An entertaining hockey game here at the Winnipeg Arena with the score tied. Eves is out there now with McBain and Arneal. Krushelnyski with Pozar and Hughes for the Oilers. Randy Carlyle forced behind his own net. Ahead to Murray Eves. Ahead for Scott Arneal. He shoots it in. McBain off the board. Quick shot. Murray Eves with another drive. It goes wide. Hughes bumps with Carlyle in the corner. Gets it to Pozar, who clears it. 7:18 left in the second. The score tied here in the second at 3. The Jets led 2-1 after 20 minutes. The Oilers got a quick goal after just 37 seconds by Glenn Anderson to tie it, and then went ahead on a goal by Krushelnyski. Arneal with a shot, glove save by Grant Fuhr.
You know, both defensemen, or the defensemen on both teams have been very aggressive, pinching in and even going in the corner. And that's really where the responsibility of the forward to make sure that that player is backed up. And both teams have done an excellent job of that.
Taking a look there at Murray Eves. He played 2 games for these Winnipeg Jets last year against the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs, so it's not totally new to him. I had mentioned earlier in the broadcast that John Ferguson simply phoned his farm club in Sherbrooke, found out who was the best player at a forward position during their big win last night in that American League playoff, and they said Eves. He probably phoned him and said, "You're coming up, kid." He traveled all day, and he seems to not have too many problems as far as the weary legs go travel.
Ron Wilson against Messier in that face-off circle. 7:01 remaining in the second period. The score tied at 3. McClellan unable to get it out. Kite takes a shot. It goes wide to the corner. Messier is bodied there by Wilson. It's loose back of the goal. Randy Gregg. Long lead pass. Here's Willie Lindstrom. Working against Tim Waters. Messier catching up with the play. He has the puck. Messier slides it across. McClellan was spun around. McLean off the boards for Wilson. And Wilson gets it out to center ice. 6:32 left in the second. Loose puck picked up by Willie Lindstrom. He shoots it in. He didn't wait long enough for his teammates to get back out of that Winnipeg zone, and it's offside.
Now, Jim Kite didn't play very much in games 1 and 2, but he's getting a full chip in this game tonight, and he's throwing out a lot of good body shots. He's keeping the Oilers honest. Willie Lindstrom was the recipient of that last one. We remind you that this program is copyright and is strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, distribution, or exhibition in whole or in part without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited.
6:25 left in the second. Thomas Steen against Wayne Gretzky. Hayward stops it back at the net for Babbitt. Babbitt almost had it poked away from him. It comes to the line. Huddy with a shot. That went off a leg. Out front, Curry was all set in the slot, but Babbitt intercepted the pass. 3-3 the score. Ron Wilson getting the tying goal for the Jets. Gretzky is tied up. Still managed to get a stick on it. Now it's dumped down the ice. The race for the loose puck. Clear way out of his net to play it. Knocked down by Ben Lundholm, but then dumped out to the center ice area. Ellis in his own zone. Lundholm unable to get it out. Now it's cleared to the center ice area. Poked back in, but picked up by Ellis. Ellis with a shot. Goes off a skate to the corner. Steen centered it. Intercepted by Semenko. For Paul Coffey. Gretzky trailing on the play. Coffey. Rink wide. There's nobody there, and back comes Winnipeg. Lead pass intercepted by Curry. Curry forced back into his own zone. He upsets Jim Mill, and the puck is cleared. Napier drops it off for Curry. For Messier, it's poked away. Another shot. They score on the rebound. Mark Napier.
Well, you talk about this line getting lots of motion. Where are they going to be coming from? Who knows? Hayward makes a sensational save as he poke checks the play to break it up. Now they set the play up at the blue line as Winnipeg again back in. So watch Hayward with a poke check. Terrific save. Now nobody looks for a trailer. In comes Napier. It's in the open side.
Now, John, what's been happening here is that Messier, Niebuhr, and Anderson are just a little bit too quick for Boschman, Dill, and Turnbull. And they've really taken advantage of that and, breaking out plays into their own end, and it's has resulted in a lot of good scoring chances. And this line has accounted for 3 goals.
Well, there appears to be a problem in behind the Edmonton Oilers bench with some of the spectators here in the Winnipeg Arena. And the security people, as well as members of the Winnipeg City Police, are being called in.
Well, that's why we have some time. Let's have another look at that goal by the Edmonton Oilers. Everybody's circling, and Nil skates right by the puck. That's a time when some forward has to put on the brakes. You can't go for a skate. And Napier left all alone. He had the open net.
Nil's a right winger. He ends up to the right of the goaltender, Hayward, which is the left winger's position. That's not where to be. They picked up the wrong man, and that was it. So things seem to be calming down behind Glenn Sather. The word we have is that something was thrown over top into the bench area of the Edmonton Oilers. Calm seems to be restored. And Winnipeg simply not picking up the trailers in their own zone. Got burnt for a goal by Mark Napier.
Napier from Messier and Curry on that Edmonton goal at 14:53. So the Oilers again take a 1-goal lead. Again, Napier coming across the line, and out of his net, Hayward grabs him and holds on.
Let's take a quick look at our playoff scoreboard once again. Philadelphia leading the Islanders 4-3. Tonelli has scored for the Islanders there in the third period. And in Game 3 of the Montreal-Quebec series, it's tied at 5 with overtime looming at the Quebec Coliseum.
4-3. The Oilers lead the Jets. 4:47 remaining in the second period. The Oilers to the attack again. Messier across the line, dodges a check for Anderson. Anderson hangs on to it, waited, but hit the side of the net. Randy Carlyle plays it to an open wing. Picard hammers it into the Edmonton zone.
I think, Don, it's time for Barry Long to get this line, Bossman's line, away from Messier's line. Messier's line is just simply eating them right up.
Again, as Messier slides it in, Hayward holds it for a face-off with 4:15 left in the second.
Grant Fuhr's played every minute of playoff time this year for the Edmonton Oilers. Andy Moog is the backup. Andy Moog feeling better. He had a lot of problems towards the end of the season with strained knees. He's had all sorts of treatments. He says he feels 100% now and is ready to go. And they have a third-string goaltender with them, Mike Zanier, the American League Farm Club.
He's got the best seat in the house, though, Andy Moog, right now.
You think at least shave and look a little presentable for these games.
Ellis, back of his own net. Dumps it down the ice. Paul McLean unable to catch up with it. Back of the net. McLean taken in against the boards by Melnick. McLean manages to dig it out. Takes a shot. Another whack at it. And Fuhr made the save.
Well, that shows you some of the strength of Paul McLean as he took care of Melnick behind the net. Melnick's a pretty strong customer.
Now Babbage to the attack with McLean. Over on the left side. Mullen with a shot. High and off the glass. The puck ricochets all the way to center ice. Dave Ellett almost had it poked away by Krushelnyski. Now Melnick dumps it in for Edmonton. Hayward had a little trouble with that bouncing shot as Babbage feeds it out for Wilson. Wilson at the line, a drive, and Mullen was offside. This is Hockey Night in Canada with Stanley Cup 85 on CBC. Play just underway, and as Jim Kite touches it, icing is charged against the Oilers with 3:13 left in the second.
I had mentioned that Andy Moog had a shave. I think he's growing a beard. I know Grant Fuhr underneath his mask is growing a beard. They do it for the playoffs. Grant Fuhr said he did it last season. I don't see any reason why he would want to change. All he did last year was win the Stanley Cup. Grant Fuhr, you know, with that fiberglass mask he wears, he doesn't wear any padding underneath it. It's just fiberglass right up against his face and very small eye holes, and that's the reason for it. If he had padding, that mask would stick out quite a ways and he wouldn't be able to see down at the feet.
Paul Coffey feeds it over for Huddy. To Messier, he drops it in. Waters has it, trying to clear it. Kept in at the line. Puck goes at the side of the Winnipeg net, now behind the goal. Kite plays it around on the boards. McBain unable to get it out. Kite gets it again. Kite plays it around the boards to the other side, and it's deflected down the ice into the Edmonton zone. Fuhr goes back to the net for Coffey. Coffey around on the boards to the other side. As the Oilers go rink wide to Hunter. Hunter takes the shot from a sharp angle. The rebound. And McClellan was tied up by Kite and taken behind the net. Now it's Eads trying to get out of there. Finally plays it around the boards. Arneal couldn't deflect it, but then it's poked out into the center ice area as Huddy had problems controlling it. Willie Lindstrom runs into a check from Kite. Andrew McBain dumps it in for Winnipeg as the Jets make a change with 2:10 left in the second period. The Oilers in front by a score of 4-3. Pass intercepted by Allen for Winnipeg. Allen cutting for the net out front. Mayo was upended, couldn't get a shot away. Babbage with a backhand shot. That's knocked down, and Lindstrom brings it out to center ice. Coffey grabs the loose puck. Coffey's taken in against the boards. Dean's pass picked off by Krushelnyski. Gretzky gets a chance against Babbage. Backhand shot. It goes wide. A pass for Thomas Dean now in the center ice area. Checked by Fogelin. He shoots it back in with Gretzky offside. Now with the Stanley Cup update, here's Brian McFarland.
At the Metropolitan Sports Center in Bloomington, Al Secord and Denny Savard team up for this goal. Look at Savard get the puck over. Secord battles for it off the heel of Meloche, and the Blackhawks lead the North Stars 3-2, 17-10, second period.
Oh, watch out, those Chicago Blackhawks. If they get any type of strong goaltending, they're going to be some tough club.
You don't like Bannerman, do you?
Well, I don't dislike him that much. I just don't think he's had a great playoff record throughout his career. He certainly has a lot of ability, and if he can fight and overcome that fact, look out.
1:17 remaining in the period, and Hockey Night in Canada returns in just a moment. The face-off to the right of Grant Fuhr. Thomas Steen moving people around, motioning defenseman Dave Ellett to move in. He gets the draw, back to Babbage. Babbage with a shot, through traffic, the rebound, Fail, Sandman. Oh, Fail had Fuhr out of position, and he fanned on it. Gretzky with Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski had difficulty getting a shot away as he was tied up by Ellett. Did steer the puck to the goal mouth, but Hayward made the save.
What a wonderful opportunity for the Winnipeg Jets. Smale on a rebound and just couldn't put it by that shot from Babbage. And Babbage makes an excellent play, going to the center of the ice, has a good angle, and keeps it low. And here's Smale, one-on-one. Oh, help.
That's simply because Gretzky and Lowe both took Lundholm in front of the net, 2-on-1, and they forgot about Smale, and it almost cost the Oilers on some bad, shabby play on that faceoff.
59 seconds left in the period. A drive by Melnick, steered to the boards. Randy Gregg had raced in to poke it into the corner. Now they battle for it in the corner, and the Jets come up with it. Turnbull coming out for Winnipeg. He gets away from Messier. Turnbull puts on the brakes, trying to set something up. He's hauled down by Melnick. A penalty coming up against the Oilers. Again, a Stanley Cup update with Brian McFarland.
Al Secord and Denny Savard team up again with 30 seconds to play in the second period. It's Savard on the rush. One man back. Here's the shot. Look for the rebound right onto the stick of Secord. It's 4-2 Chicago, ending the second period.
Melnick gets the holding penalty. Winnipeg have a chance to tie it up. He's going to just wrap his arms right around Turnbull. Turnbull had to be careful he didn't lose his temper on this play. As there you see Melnick hauling right down. It looked like a wrestling hold in all-star wrestling right there, but he had to control his temper. And after that happened, Boschman skated in and said, "Calm down, Harry. We've got the power play. Let's take advantage of it. Don't take any reaction penalties."
Now, what a lift it would be for the Winnipeg Jets if they could capitalize on this power play with only 34 seconds left in the second period.
From the face-off, it's cleared by Charlie Huddy as Messier won the battle in the face-off circle against Thomas Steen. 25 seconds remaining in the period. Lead pass for Steen on the left side. Babbage is racing in. Babbage takes a shot. He scores!
Well, Gary, you mentioned there was only 30-some seconds left. Now, I'm sure Grant Fuhr is thinking pass. There's no way Babbage is going to shoot from this bad angle. Grant Fuhr is getting ready to move. He leaves a little hole through his legs, goes right in.
You know, McClay makes an excellent play at the blue line and caused a little pick. That slowed down the Oilers from getting to Babbage. But you know, Grant Fuhr has always been vulnerable in the 5-hole throughout his career. Up until this point, only one goal. That was by McClure in Game 2. Has gone through his legs. But what a big goal for the Winnipeg Jets going into the dressing room at the end of this period.
9 seconds remaining in the period. Babbage from Steen, a power play goal at 19:45. And the period will end with the score tie. And so the score at the end of the second period is Winnipeg 4, Edmonton 4. Stay tuned for our second intermission.
The screwdriver does not always lead the simple life. That's why Canadian Tire sells Mastercraft screwdrivers. And we're so sure Mastercraft brand screwdrivers are made to last, They're guaranteed forever, just like all our Mastercraft tools. And nobody guarantees tools for longer than that.
Max, you've got to leave these tools alone. Max, you put a scratch in it.
Mastercraft tools from Canadian Tire. They're guaranteed forever.
And here at the Winnipeg Arena, play just underway in the third period. The score tied at 4. Turnbull spun around. He slides to the corner. Ellis gets the puck at the line, takes a shot that's knocked down and cleared. Babbage for Jim Nill. Across the line with Bossman. He tried to slide it in front, broken up by the Oilers, and it's cleared. Off the board, here's a chance for Arneal. Arneal tried to slide it in front and hit Bragg. Arneal gets it again. Puts it into the slot, nobody in position, and it's cleared by Edmonton. Carlisle. Off the board, picked up by Arneal. Arneal was spun around by McClellan, and Fogelin dumps it to the Winnipeg line. Back come the Jets. Lundholm, who has scored a short-handed goal. Back pass to Picard, too far. Steen gets it. Steen, back of the goal for Lundholm. Lundholm looking out front for Steen. A shot. Deflected off Sheldon. Now it's played around the boards, back out to the center ice area. The Jets applying some early pressure here in the third period. Getting a lift from that goal just 15 seconds before the end of the second.
Don, certainly the way Winnipeg wanted to start the third period. If they keep this forechecking up, Edmonton will take penalties. Brian Lewis will have to call them.
Dumped into the Winnipeg zone as Picard starts back. Picard shoots it in. He goes to the bench for a change. Fuhr playing it along the boards for Curry. Paul McLean almost broke it up as the Oilers tried to break out. Now they dump it to center ice. Wilson is there. A back pass. McLean racing after it, but Huddy beat him to it. Huddy clears it. Zemenko loses it at the line, but it's offside Winnipeg.
They're going into overtime at Quebec. Montreal and Quebec tied at 6. Wolf Paymont's late goal gave Quebec the tie against the Canadians.
John Grant Fuhr let in a bad goal, 15 seconds, the end of the second period. What kind of an effect will that have on here in this third period?
That certainly won't bother Grant Fuhr one bit. That's the only bad goal he's let in during his entire playoff season this year. You know, he's the type of a guy, he simply doesn't let those things bother him. He's a very loose, easygoing person, and that his attitude, that helps him when it comes to situations like letting in a bad goal.
Coffey. Across the line for Semenko, and Semenko in front of the net. Attempted to deflect it, and Brian Hayward stood his ground.
You know, time and time again, Dave Semenko keeps going for that net, and one of these times, he's going to deflect one in. We thought he had a goal earlier in the series, but it was taken away from him. Paul Coffey got credited for it. But one thing about Dave, he makes things happen by going towards the goaltender.
This is also a key save for Hayward early in the period. He hasn't had a lot of work. He was a little shaky earlier in the game, but he anticipates that play very well and made the sprawling save because he knew if he was right on top of Semenko, Semenko couldn't deflect it high. And that's a goaltender's job. Get out and force that shooter to shoot the puck right into you, and Hayward did it.
Doug Spale working around Coffey, lost control of the puck, gets it again. Back of the net for Lundholm. Lundholm for Winnipeg, trying to set something up. He's hammered into the boards by Huddy. Huddy tried to knock it out of there. They jam away at it in the corner. Finally, Spale gets it to Steen. Steen out front. Back to Allen. He shot it wide with Fuhr down. And finally, it's cleared down the ice by Curry.
Fuhr is very fortunate he didn't get hurt on that last play. Elliott missed the net. Fuhr had his back towards the shot, and if that puck had hit him, he may have been in. Elliott can't believe he missed the open net.
16:59, the time left to play in the third period with the score tied at 4. It was 2-1 Winnipeg after 20 minutes. The Oilers jumped in front 3-2. The Jets tied it at 3. The Oilers moved ahead, and then the Jets tied it with 15 seconds left in the period. Shot down into the Winnipeg zone. Hayward way out of his net to play it. He shoots it around the other side for Waters. Waters with Murray Eves. Ahead to Arneal. Arneal takes a shot off Gregg. It goes to the corner. Arneal is tied up along the boards, and back come the Oilers. Krushelnyski for Pozar. It goes into the Winnipeg corner. Pozar bumps Waters. Waters manages to come up with it. The Jets bring it out into the center ice area. For Arneal. Arneal fakes a shot. Now lets it go, and it's deflected high by Fuhr. Pozar deflects it down the ice into the Winnipeg zone, and back for it goes Jim Kite. The Jets applying a lot of pressure here in the third period. Kite working to the corner, dodges a check, then lost control of the puck. Boschman gets it. Boschman looking for Nil, cruising into the slot. Nil couldn't get a shot away. The puck goes loose in the Edmonton zone, and finally it's clear. 15:49 left in the third. The score tied at 4. Here comes Mark Napier to Messier. He takes a shot. It hits Picard, and it's clear.
This is the second shift this period. Boschman's line has been out against Messier's line, and they've done a pretty good job this third period. Maybe they're just starting to get in the groove as far as checking that line goes.
Jim Nill takes the check from Lowe. The puck goes loose in the corner. Napier unable to get out, and the shot sails wide. The Oilers try again, and finally they clear it. Here comes Messier, and it's whistled down as it was gloved ahead. 15:16 is the time left in the third.
One thing that Coach Bill Sutherland mentioned about Boschman's line, he said the reason they're getting in so much trouble against Messier's line is they're not finishing the checks. They've got to stay with a guy, take him in the corner.
Long drive by Babbage, steered to the boards. Babbage gets it again, tried to flip it to the corner, broken up by Coffey. A lead pass off Curry, and it's broken up at the line by Ellen. And that play is whistled down as it crossed two lines. With a Stanley Cup update, here's Brian McFarland.
Third period action between the North Stars and the Blackhawks. All kinds of pressure on the Hawks in their own zone. Wilson over to Hartsburg, and he drills one past Bannerman, and that makes it 4-3. Chicago leading the North Stars, third period.
And I'm sure, you know, Bill Sutherland being up here, able to see the action, has put in the call to Coach Barry Long. And perhaps Barry Long has said something to Boschman's line. Look, finish the checks, pin them right in the corner. Don't let them get back in the play, because that's exactly what happened on Napier's goal. They allowed Napier to come out of the corner and get away from his check, and he scored with Hayward down on the ice.
Well, both these hockey clubs use the headphone system. They both have assistant coaches in the box. Bill Sutherland, as you mentioned, in the press box for the Winnipeg Jets, and Ted Green up in the press box for the Edmonton Oilers. They use those coaches. They relay information to the bench, and that's the type of information they relay, Gary. The system-wise there, you can see the earplug in the left ear of John Muckler, and they see who's doing well on face-offs. They're able to relay information. They may as well use it to their advantage. There's Rick Bonus, excuse me. He's the assistant coach for Winnipeg.
This game is really getting sophisticated, isn't it?
14:59 left in the third. Steen is out there now against Messier. Babbage shoots it in, broken up at the line. Babbage gets it again, tried to play it ahead for Smale, picked off by Huddy. Huddy racing in, and the shot goes off Ellen to the corner. The rookie from Bowling Green gets it ahead to Lundholm. He shoots it into the Edmonton zone. Played off the boards to the line. Ellen with a shot and sailed wide. What a glorious opportunity he had early in this third period to put the Jets in front. Picked up now by Messier. Messier for Coffey, and that's deflected high up into the crowd.
You mentioned about Dave Ellis with the scoring chance he had, and he skated to the bench. Could not believe that he missed it. You know, he's has dual citizenship, both American and Canadian, and back in '84 for the Olympic squads, both the Americans and the Canadians chased Ellis to try and get him to play for their teams. He declined to play for either one of them, went back to Bowling Green to continue his studies. He played for the Bowling Green University. They won the NCAA championship, so he got a championship under his system anyways. And Gino Cavallini was a teammate of his down with the Calgary Flames.
You know, Teddy Green and John Muckler both had a lot of praise for that youngster. Said he's going to be a real superstar in this league.
A standing room crowd of 15,418 here at the Winnipeg Arena for this third game. Exciting action at the Winnipeg Arena, and Game 4 will come your way on Hockey Night in Canada on Thursday night. Now, into the center ice area. Napier has it pushed away by Picard as he came in across the Winnipeg line. Loose puck. Anderson gets it ahead for Gretzky. Gretzky is breaking in. Gretzky scores!
This breakout play was set up by Anderson with a super pass to Wayne Gretzky. When Gretzky scores this goal, the goaltender Hayward thinks he's going to go to his backhand upstairs, and he went for that fake, and Gretzky has this ability to stop and turn just so quick. Now watch Anderson here with this little pass to set it up. There he goes behind Carlisle. Now watch this before he takes the shot. He's going to go to his backhand. Is he going to go upstairs with it? Nope. Now watch him turn. Unbelievable quickness, and Hayward went for the fake.
But you know why Gretzky made that possible? He went into the hole. He got away from his check, and Anderson hit him with a perfect pass. But as you say, he beat Hayward cleanly on that one. The ability of Wayne Gretzky to do so many different things with that puck.
And Sather changed the lines a little bit, too. He's got Gretzky out now with Napier and Anderson. He's mixing the lines up here a little bit in this third period.
Pass picked off again by Gretzky. Gretzky with a drive, and Hayward makes the save. The Oilers in front 5-4. Fogelin at the line brought it in offside. Anderson drawing the assist on the Gretzky goal at 6:13. Well, it's 5-4. Edmonton leading Winnipeg here at the arena. Today in the World Hockey Championships in Prague, Czechoslovakia, Canada and Czechoslovakia played to a 4-all tie. Anderson, Sandy, Hallward, and Mullen scoring for Canada. The Soviet Union defeated Sweden 6-2. The surprising United States team beat West Germany 4-3. And the Soviets lead the tournament, but the United States is in second spot. Canada tied for third with Czechoslovakia. Jim Kite for McLean to Mullen. Mullen, a centering pass. And the Winnipeg Fire slides right into the net as he went flying into Grant Fuhr, and Ron Wilson is still inside that Edmonton goal.
Well, when coaches talk about the second man going for the net, that's exactly what they mean. You know, the winger on the left side, you just lob a puck in front. Here comes Mullen looking for Wilson. He's got his head up, and the timing has to be perfect. Actually, Hunter did a pretty good job there to lift that stick to keep that goal away from Wilson.
Well, they say Gretzky is not that good on breakaways. His ability to stop and turn all in one motion and to simply put the puck in the open side is amazing. You know, for a goaltender taking that type of a chance where Hayward went with Gretzky to the one side, you've got to have somebody in your club coming across to force Gretzky to that one side.
13:09 is the time left in the third. Wilson was looking for Mullen. The pass was intercepted, and back comes McClellan for Edmonton. He drops it for Hunter. His shot went off a leg wide. Loose puck in the corner. Hunter digs it out, then loses it to Babbage. The Oilers get it again. A shot by McClellan. Hits bodies in front of the net, and finally it's cleared by Winnipeg. The race for the loose puck. Kevin Lowe gets back there for it and dumps it ahead to the neutral zone. Hunter plays it off the glass into Winnipeg territory. 12:34 left in the third. Pass picked off by Krushelnyski. He tried to feed it in front. Curry gets it again. He slid it in front of the net, and it was broken up by the Jets. But now Messier has it. He works back to the line. Still controlling it. Messier out front, and a shot by Curry hit a leg.
John, you can see a line change again for Edmonton. Messier, Krushelnyski, and Curry now making a line. Say they're trying to break things up. Probably go with 3 lines more in a close hockey game. He needs some more goals.
In the center ice area, all copy, picks up steam. He lets the shot go wide. Dumped off the boards and down the ice. A race for the puck. Curry gets there first. Now Carlisle picks it up. His link-wide pass deflects off a leg with Smale trapped offside. Hockey Night in Canada is coming to you from the Winnipeg Arena. 11:49 is the time left in the third. The Oilers in front 5-4. The go-ahead goal by Wayne Gretzky. It's Steen against Messier. Steen is out there with Curry and, Messier is out there, I should say, with Curry and Krushelnyski. Messier has a pass picked off, but brought in by Thomas Steen offside.
This morning I had an opportunity to talk to Grant Fuhr and I asked him, if you had to play against Wayne Gretzky, how would you play him? You know, we had talked earlier about Grant Fuhr coming out to challenge as soon as he watches a player drop his head before he's going to shoot. He said, with Gretzky, I certainly wouldn't go out to challenge because Wayne can change his mind so many times. He gave an example of that tonight. So I would stay closer to the net and hope he hits me with the shot.
Or misses the net. Randy Gregg starts out of his own zone. He dumps it into Winnipeg territory. Tim Waters plays it around the boards. Gregg at the point, keeps it in. Anderson with a long backhand shot. Gloved by Hayward, with Napier standing in front of the net.
Certainly interesting to watch Sather use his line combinations very differently. Here he's got Gretzky again out with Napier and Anderson. His fourth line, Semenko, Hughes, and Pozar, not seeing much ice time in the third period.
Smale gets it back to Carlisle. A quick shot, the save, the rebound, and it's fired wide by Smale. Fuhr may have got a piece of it. Smale out front. Steen for Carlisle. He tried to go to his backhand. He lost it. Another shot. A backhand shot by Thomas Steen. Loose along the boards. Carlisle for Lundholm. He falls. Waters comes in from the point. Waters for Steen. Steen having difficulty controlling it. Waters gets it now. A backhand shot. And that went wide. Picked up by Anderson. The Jets with a lot of pressure. Ahead to Gretzky. Breaking in. Gretzky going in. Saved by Hayward. Loose puck at the side of the net. And the play is whistled down as Carlisle coming back. Crashed into the net. Knocking it off and scoring. Stanley Cup 85 on CBC is coming to you from the Winnipeg Arena.
Now Hayward kept his hockey club in this one in the third period with Gretzky getting a perfect feed. That transition from defense to offense. One-on-one again, and this time Hayward stayed with Gretzky. He wasn't going to go for the fake this time, and just an excellent save, and you see Randy Carlisle sliding into the net.
10:13 is the time left in the third period. Lead pass for Murray Eaves. Eaves with a shot. It hit a leg. McBain gets it. A backhand shot goes wide. Eaves out front. And Arneal couldn't get a shot away. Babbage tries to center it as the Jets are applying pressure, trying to get that equalizer. But back come the Oilers. Lindstrom taken in against the boards by Allen. Eaves plays it around to the other side. McBain bumps with Hunter. The puck loose and finally poked out to center ice. McClellan for the Oilers drops it back into his own zone as Edmonton gets set to go to the attack. Huddy shoots it into the Winnipeg zone. 9:33 left in the third. 5-4. Edmonton in front. Allen in his own zone, trying to get away from Hunter. A pass hit a player and bounced to the corner. Elliott gets it again for Arneal. Arneal into the center ice area to Boschman. Boschman was spun around, and the Oilers take over in their own zone. Charlie Huddy dumps it in. Krushelnyski and Picard race into the corner. They bump. It goes loose. Then Curry is taken in against the boards. Boschman comes in. Tried to dig it out. Messier got it. Took a shot that was knocked down, and the Jets bring it back. Huddy racing to the corner against Turnbull. Huddy comes up with it, and he clears it.
You know, it's interesting the way Sather has put a not-so-physical player like Curry in a very physical game. He puts him with two physical players like Messier and Krushelnyski, perhaps to try and get something out of it.
Turnbull moves right in. He takes the shot. Fuhr made the save, and then the rebound is cleared.
Well, when the Jets get the opportunity, they just can't capitalize. In this third period, they've had about 3 good ones against Grant Fuhr.
Boschman takes the shot. Fuhr with the save, and the puck is clear. 8:18, the time left in the third, fired in offside by Picard.
Well, there was a lot of questions about the Jets and their intensity in the first 2 games in Edmonton. Well, they've certainly shown it here in this hockey game. Grant Fuhr making the big save again, the key save when he's called upon. We wondered about the bad goal he gave up at the end of the second period. What did he recover? Well, he certainly played well in this period. Turnbull recovers with his reach, and Fuhr covered that ice area. Look at the muscle work going on around in front of the net. Well,
Well, that's an example of that full court press that Terry Long was talking about that he wanted. Head for the net, get some good shots against Grant Fuhr. And he's in a prone position. Jets just can't get it over top of him.
Jets have outshot the Oilers 29-20, but Edmonton leads at 5-4 with 8:05 left in the third.
Dale Howardchuk at the game. There he is, right alongside of the Jets bench where the players are situated, providing a little inspiration for his teammates. He gave it his best shot skating at practice today to try and get prepared to be able to play. He just didn't have it. He didn't want to take a chance medically, but he's here cheering his squad on.
Ellis tied up along the boards by Anderson, and finally it's dumped down the ice. And the play whistled down. Apparently it was knocked ahead with a high stick. Live on CBC, this is Stanley Cup 85.
You want to coach against Glenn Sather? Try this for a line combination. Pozar on the left side, Gretzky at center, and Curry on the right side.
From the faceoff, Picard shoots it in. 7:47 remaining in the third. Time very much a factor here as the Oilers go to the attack, led by Gretzky with Pozar. Gretzky breaking into the slot, takes the shot, and Pozar on that rebound took a drive that Hayward just got a skate on to deflect it to the corner. Ron Wilson for Winnipeg. Across the line, trying to go around the defenseman, is taken out of the play by Melnick, and it's fired down the ice by the Oilers.
Well, the time has come now for the Jets to really start taking some chances because this is their most important period of the year. They've got to get back and tie this game up, and the only way you do that is to mount some pressure.
On a change, the puck is cleared from the center ice area. Now Ron Wilson will shoot it in, and he'll go to the bench for Winnipeg. Loose puck in the corner. Kevin Lowe has it. Played around the boards for Lindstrom, kept in by Elliott. Now Lowe will try and get it out. Lowe into the center ice area. McClelland over on the wing for Hunter. Shot and a save by Hayward. Kept in by Lindstrom. It's loose in the corner. Hunter fighting with Babbage, trying to slide it out front. Broken up by the Jets as Lundholm takes it to the board. Lundholm and Hunter fight for it with 6:22 remaining. And Game 4 will take place here at the Winnipeg Arena on Thursday night. And will there be a Game 5 back in Edmonton on Saturday?
I'd have to think this next 6 minutes and 22 seconds may have a lot to do with that. You can see the determination on both player benches. Certainly been an entertaining game as far as the speed factor goes, the high tempo of both teams playing with the physical, high tempo, fast skating type of hockey game we expected all through this series.
Well, from our vantage point, play, as you see, underway here in the third with 6:22 left, and it's taken to the boards and held for a face-off.
So you talk about the Edmonton Oilers, as we look again at Laurie Boschman, who's gotten a lot of ice time during this hockey game. The Edmonton Oilers, they play a little less fancy on the road. They call it their road hockey. They don't try and show off to anybody. Sometimes when you play in front of your home fans, you try to get too fancy. It's more of a down-to-earth type of a hockey game on the road.
Boschman, a long shot that steered to the corner. Nil trying to pick it up off the board. Napier got to it. He gets it to Coffey, and Coffey clears it. Hayward plays it around to the other side for Waters. To Jim Nill. Nill for Turnbull. Turnbull working against Huddy. Turnbull goes to the boards, lost control of it, and back comes Edmonton. Napier across the line for Messier, and a bouncing puck he was unable to control and get a shot away. Long lead pass for Boschman, too far. It slides back into the Edmonton zone with 5:34 left in the third. Curry now breaking in, a shot, a total save by Brian Hayward. In the corner, Babbage is having problems there with Curry. Rushelnitsky also in there. He pokes the tree. Sather really doing a juggling job with his lines in this third period. Paul McLean unable to pick it up off the boards, and he put himself offside with 5:09 left to play in the third period.
Well, it's very important for the Jets in this last 5:09 that when they dump the puck in, their forwards have to be in full flight so that they arrive at the same time in the corner. Right now, the Oilers are having really an easy time coming out because the Jets are a little slow getting into the Edmonton end of the ice.
Poked away by Thomas Dean. He has run home with him. Dean with a shot, and dropping in front of it was Gregg. Dean tried to slide it out for Doug Smale, and it's intercepted by Curry. Great chance there for the Jets as they broke in 2-on-1. Gretzky dropping it for Pozar. Pozar is taken in against the boards. Elliott tried to play it around the other side. Gretzky almost stole it. And now Lundholm brings it out. He was looking for Steen too far, and Fogelin dumps it back to the line. 4:29 is the time left in the third period. The Oilers in front by a score of 5-4. It was 2-1 Winnipeg after 1, tied at 4 after 40 minutes. Picard, back of his own net. On the right side for Paul McLean to Mullen. Mullen across the line, having difficulty getting away from McClellan. Huddy comes in. They take the puck to the boards. Now McLean trying to dig it out, working against Coffey. Coffey gets it free, but it's picked off by Wilson to McLean. McLean dropping it back. Waters with a shot. They bang away at it in front, and finally it's brought out by the Oilers. Hunter with a long drive deflects high up into the crowd with 3:43 left in the third.
Once again, a look at our playoff scoreboard. A final just in 5-3 Philadelphia. That's 6 straight playoff wins for the Flyers. And that's the final. Montreal 6, Quebec 6. They're in overtime at the Quebec Coliseum. And it's 4-3 Chicago leading Minnesota, third period in Minnesota.
You realize that's 12 straight games Billy Smith has not had a win against the Philadelphia Flyers. And that's somewhat surprising when you think of Billy Smith's numbers in the past few seasons.
Well, it was Billy Smith's goaltending that got the New York Islanders into the division final, as he was absolutely brilliant in that 5th game against the Washington Capitals. Turnbull into the center ice area. Flashman and Mill break in. A glove save, but it was offside. 3:31 the time left in the third, and from the Winnipeg Arena, this is Stanley Cup 85 on CBC.
There you see the story. 3:31 left in the third period. 5-4 in favor of the Oilers. You know, this third period, Sather's dropped to 3 lines plus 1 player. In other words, he's only sat 2 players on the bench pretty much the whole period. That's Semenko and Hughes. That allows the Oilers to really pick up the pace. And what already was a fast-paced hockey game, and Winnipeg seemed to have a hard time really staying with that pace of the Oilers.
Paul Coffey moving out of his own zone. He spots Curry. He couldn't control the pass. The Jets try and shoot it in, but it goes off a player into the Edmonton bench.
Well, Barry Long is wondering what player on his bench can get this equalizer and perhaps send it to overtime. But he figured that his club would rise to the occasion and come up with their best game of the series, and they really have done that. They have played exceptionally well, and they've really missed a lot of good scoring chances because of bad execution in the Edmonton end of the ice.
And let's remember, he's also got his timeout left. You saw him looking up at the clock. He's got to put in his own mind what his next 3 or 4 line combinations are going to be, when to take that timeout, what defensive pairings he wants out there. He knows he's got to scrape away, and he's fighting for his life, his hockey life right now.
Now, Long made an interesting comment about his players. He said they're giving it their all, and that's all I can ask from them. Messier now across the line. Messier moving in, a shot, and that's deflected high. Coffey pinching in from the point, shoots it back to the Winnipeg net. Babbage has it, unable to clear it, however, against Anderson, who was looking for Gretzky. Back to the line, and Huddy takes the shot. The Jets come back, led by Thomas Dean. He has Doug Smale with him. Tried to feed it over to Smale, broken up by the Oilers, and they bring it out, led by Anderson. Anderson shoots it in. Smale is back for Winnipeg to poke it away from Coffey. Bozar following up in the play, tried to center it. It was broken up by the Jets, and Wilson brings it out to center ice. He loses it to Curry, and it's loose with 2:12 remaining in the third. Rink-wide pass for Paul McLean. Quick shot. Muir got a piece of that one and cleared it with Ron Wilson racing in looking for a loose puck. Shot in by Winnipeg, but McLean has fallen behind the play offside with 1:58 left in the third.
That last quick shot by McLean almost fooled Grant Fuhr. Now, we had mentioned earlier that McLean keeps that puck right near his feet with that line 9.5 stick, and he's just with the strength in his wrist. He let that shot go so quickly that he handcuffed Grant Fuhr. Fuhr had to make a heck of a save. Watch how the puck's very close to his feet. He just snaps it, uses the Oilers as screen, and that's such a quick play that sometimes surprises a goaltender. Paul McLean has played a very good hockey game tonight. He keeps talking about his pace. It's not that quick. He gets the job done. He's played super.
He said, my best way to play is on a straight line from goalpost to goalpost.
Paul McLean has spent the summer in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, and I'm sure he has a lot of folks from that part of the country cheering for him in this hockey game tonight. Carlisle races in. Here's the deflection, and Fuhr has got it. Taking it off Barsman.
Unbelievable how quickly the Winnipeg Jets were on the defensive. They got control of the puck. They turned it to an offensive play. 3 passes, and Grant Fuhr almost had the puck squeezed through his legs. Look how quickly the Winnipeg Jets take control because Carlisle cheated, and almost Boschman got it through the legs of Grant Fuhr.
Oh, there, John, is an example of how you make the puck move for you, from player to player, and how you can get a team out of position by passing the puck around.
Absolutely, and when they controlled that puck, when Carlisle cheated, 3 Edmonton Oilers were leaving the zone. That created a tough situation, but Grant Fuhr came up big again. Of course, Marshman on the ice for a big face-off.
See, if Boschman gets this draw, which he's been doing all night, and Carlisle has time, the wingers really have to fight their way in front of the net to set up that screener. There's no sense of Carlisle shooting the puck.
Now, let's remember, this is a set play that if Carlisle gets control, he'll cut towards the middle, and Mullen will go over the top by the other face-off dot and try and shoot the puck on the fly.
Picard along the boards with Hunter. They force another draw in the Edmonton zone.
Coaches nowadays work on plays the last minute, 2 minutes of a hockey game, what to do on these offensive zones. And in game 1, Mullen missed the wide-open net in the last minute of the hockey game. Close play.
Well, Barry, when do you pull Brian Hayward? Hasn't got much time left. 1:35.
The draw goes to the boards and then is deflected out to the center ice area. Picard shoots it in. It's loose back of the net along the boards, and Picard is unable to squeeze it off at the blue line, and it goes all the way back into the Winnipeg zone. Carlisle up on the boards, but not out. Now the Oilers with Hunter. Taking it in back of the Winnipeg net. He's tied up by Carlisle. Mullen also comes in there, and finally they force a face-off with only 1:02 left in the third.
Well, Glenn Sather has done that many times, has put Hunter out as a defensive specialist because he knows that he can count on him not to give that puck away and just keep it pinned into the Winnipeg Jets end of the ice.
Winnipeg Jets trailing 5-4. They make a change.
When Hunter forced that face-off in the Winnipeg zone, Mark Messier was smacking his stick on the ice in appreciation of the play. Right now, Winnipeg, what they want to do is get that face-off right back down to that Edmonton zone to try and set up for those plays to get the tying goal.
You can expect Hayward to go to the bench if the Jets carry it over the Edmonton's end of the ice.
Charlie Huddy with a shot. That's deflected off the glass. Anderson, a backhand shot. The save is made by Hayward, but it was whistled down. It was gloved ahead.
The face-off will go outside the blue line now, simply because it was the Edmonton team that were involved with gloving the puck ahead.
You know, as well as the Jets have played, and Barry Long must realize that, they've given it their all tonight. The Oilers always seem to find a way to win.
They won more games on the road than any other team, got more points on the road than any other team in the National League this season, and they're playing with rather sound defensive hockey.
I guess that's called maturity.
Certainly is.
50 seconds remaining as Coffey shoots it in. Babbage around on the boards for Lundholm. Into the center ice area for Thomas Dean. Hayward is heading to the bench. Coffey plays it around on the glass, and it flies out to center ice. Paul McLean retreats for Winnipeg, has to wait for Boschman to get onside. Now Boschman shoots it in, picked off by Huddy. He clears it. 25 seconds remaining. Ellett drives it into the Edmonton zone. Messier tries to dump it out. Kept in by Lundholm, but it's whistled down as it was hit with a high stick.
Don, what happens here was Winnipeg had trouble controlling the puck, and every time they went to shoot the puck into the Edmonton zone, you can see Barry Long signaling a timeout, but every time they went to shoot it in, everybody was standing still at the blue line. When you want to shoot it in, you have to have your forwards on a roll, try and get them going with some sort of speed. Edmonton just simply got control of the puck and knocked it back out 3 times that last shift.
And not only that, John, the Oilers had guys behind the goal line just waiting for Grant Fuhr to stop it, and there was no pressure on them. They had an easy time coming out with it.
17 seconds remaining as the Winnipeg Jets have called a timeout. They trail by 4. And John Davidson, what will they be attempting to do?
Well, this is what's interesting right here. Barry Long is staying in the background. Rick Bowness, the assistant coach, is taking over. He's simply telling his players, with just 17 seconds left, whoever the face-off man is, to try and shuffle it right in deep. And the guys just simply have to go for it, take chances, do everything possible. And if you can, when Hunter forced that face-off in the Winnipeg zone, Mark Messier was smacking his stick on the ice in appreciation of the play. Right now, Winnipeg, what they want to do is get that face-off right back down to that Edmonton zone to try and set up for those plays to get the tying goal.
You can expect Hayward to go to the bench if the Jets carry it over the Edmonton's end of the ice.
Charlie Huddy with a shot. That's deflected off the glass. Anderson, a backhand shot. The save is made by Hayward, but it was whistled down. It was gloved ahead.
The face-off will go outside the blue line now, simply because it was the Edmonton team that were involved with gloving the puck ahead.
You know, as well as the Jets have played, and Barry Long must realize that, they've given it their all tonight. The Oilers always seem to find a way to win.
They won more games on the road than any other team, got more points on the road than any other team in the National League this season, and they're playing with rather sound defensive hockey.
I guess that's called maturity.
Certainly is.
50 seconds remaining as Coffey shoots it in. Babbage around on the boards for Lundholm. Into the center ice area for Thomas Dean. Hayward is heading to the bench. Coffey plays it around on the glass, and it flies out to center ice. Paul McLean retreats for Winnipeg, has to wait for Boschman to get onside. Now Boschman shoots it in, picked off by Huddy. He clears it. 25 seconds remaining. Ellett drives it into the Edmonton zone. Messier tries to dump it out. Kept in by Lundholm, but it's whistled down as it was hit with a high stick.
Don, what happens here was Winnipeg had trouble controlling the puck, and every time they went to shoot the puck into the Edmonton zone, you can see Barry Long signaling a timeout, but every time they went to shoot it in, everybody was standing still at the blue line. When you want to shoot it in, you have to have your forwards on a roll, try and get them going with some sort of speed. Edmonton just simply got control of the puck and knocked it back out 3 times that last shift.
And not only that, John, the Oilers had guys behind the goal line just waiting for Grant Fuhr to stop it, and there was no pressure on them. They had an easy time coming out with it.
17 seconds remaining as the Winnipeg Jets have called a timeout. They trail by 4. And John Davidson, what will they be attempting to do?
Well, this is what's interesting right here. Barry Long is staying in the background. Rick Bowness, the assistant coach, is taking over. He's simply telling his players, with just 17 seconds left, whoever the face-off man is, to try and shuffle it right in deep. And the guys just simply have to go for it, take chances, do everything possible. And if you can possibly get a face-off in that Edmonton zone. But, you know, these Oilers, here it is again, a tight hockey game. They haven't given up a goal in the 3rd period, and they're on the road. They simply are maturing and doing the job. That's called good playoff hockey.
Well, John Muckler talked about in Game 2 where the Jets had about a 45-second pressure against them, and they dominated play in the Edmonton end of the ice and never got a shot on net. And we've seen signs of this in this third period where the pressure has been there, but no shots on net.
Now on the other side of the ice, where Bosch was going to try and shuffle it ahead probably, Steen is way over on the other side of the ice, nobody molesting him. See if he tries to get some speed and whistle right over.
Puck is taken in by Babbage, a backhand shot. Puck loose at the side of the net now, picked up by Messier, and he dumps it down the ice, and that will be the hockey game. As it's loose at the line, a long shot sails into the Winnipeg zone, hits the side of the net, and the Oilers win it by 4 and take a commanding 3-0 lead in game.
Well, if you have opinions, you have to say that both teams played a pretty good hockey game. The Winnipeg Jets gave everything they had. Just put a terrific effort, but Grant Fuhrer and his club really played solid in the third period. They didn't give up too much. Good road, playoff, good sound hockey.
It was entertaining, but I think the bottom line is that when it comes to putting the puck in on scoring opportunities, the Edmonton Oilers know how to do that. They know how to handle the puck, make the good plays, and then bury it.
And let's remember that Sather basically went to 3 lines in the third period, and that tempo picked up for his hockey club, and that made a difference.
The final score is Edmonton 5, Winnipeg 4. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage continues in a moment.
Everybody switching to Bridgestone.
Proven performers, Don.
Great selection. Quality all-season radials. Smooth riding, durable, and they're made for tough Canadian roads.
Oh, Don, no bones about it.
Look, Blue, we can win this beautiful Ford Thunderbird.
You got style, Don.
Real style, Don. Blue, the switch is on to Bridgestone.
Now that's something to bark about.
Only one returning player from last year's team, so the turnover is there. You try to get the better skilled players. So many more ice hockey players going to the rollers. In front, a big save by Bobby.